Hi, everybody. It's Craig from Doc Sports. We're back with Doc's Daily. How about a last day of August edition, Wednesday, April edition, April 30th, 2025. I'm trying to speed it up to get the football season. Hey, why not? But we've got a busy week today. We've got a nice little card, NBA, NHL, I think. Two games I both like in both. And a bunch of MLB for today. And we're going to do all this in around 35 minutes. And of course, today we have in our odds genius, Raphael's with us, and it's Kentucky Derby week. And Griffin, you missed it. I mean, Tony George basically was giving Raphael a little fellatio.
Oh, I tuned in. I was watching.
I mean, he was doing all but
Yeah, it was something like that. He walked out, apparently. He went in with 1,500, walked out 17 large.
Yeah, so we'll hopefully get Raphael's kind of take on the Oaks and the Derby. I'm going to kind of hopefully pin him down a little bit. But, of course, you can get all of his plays over at DocSports.com. And all of our plays, go to DocSports.com/free60. You get a free $60 account for all new users. And that you can use anywhere you like. $30 per day per sport. So if you like the Kentucky Derby this weekend, it's just $30. If you like the NBA for one of our cappers, it's $30. And if you want a week, it's $99 per sport. So make sure you check that out over there at DocSports.com. Okay, let's talk a little bit. Raphael, how did you do yesterday? And do you have any big plays today?
Had my hands on my ankles. I'm just asking for a hug right now because it was not a good day yesterday as my big play in the NBA, went down in flames at prop bets because James Harden decided not to play ball in the second half. Just everything went wrong pretty much yesterday. But that's what gambling is. I'm tired of people negative comments. You suck as a handicapper. How does Doc not fire you today? I've been doing this I've been doing this so long. Most of the people watching this haven't even been born yet. So you know what? It is what it is. You just take it as a grain of salt. Because once we hit the submit button, once we give the ticket writer our cash, or once we hit OK on our phones, the game is out of our hands. We can handicap it to blood comes out of our eyes. It is what it is. You take the wins, you take the losses, and you move on. So today's a redemption day, but it's a big weekend. You said it's a Kentucky Derby weekend. Friday, the Oaks. Saturday, the Derby. Supposed to be rain both days. So if you're a handicapper, you handicap slop right now. There are thunderstorms on Friday, rain all day on Saturday. Big fight weekend. We got PFL on Thursday, boxing on Friday and Saturday and Sunday in New York. And let's throw in a UFC event as well. So it's not only playoff stuff, but it's combat sports weekend. If you want to see blood, it's a great weekend.
Hit him up.
And I see Nick. I see Nick on the BPA alert for today. I think NBA, right?
Yeah, we got an NBA big play 7-unit coming off a 2-0 day yesterday. We had the Detroit Pistons there with the points on our 6-unit play. Keep those points. They won outright. We're back here tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That 7-unit goes off. I'm feeling real confident about it. I believe Arun is on the other side, so we'll see who wins that matchup. We're going head-to-head there. But also on the diamond, we went 1-1. I have a 2-pack as well, and back on the ice, we got a 2-pack tonight, Craig. So we're locked and loaded here, and we got a big 7-unit on the hardwood floor. We're hitting 83% in my last 18 selections, Craig.
Yeah, and that's the late game, right? That's the later of the two games that Nick and Arun are boom head to head. So Nick's been hot. Let's get it home tonight. Griffin, World Traveler Griffin is his new nickname. He's like the what do they call what's the bald rapper?
There's a lot of them.
There's a lot of bald rappers.
Pitbull, yeah.
He's like a World Traveler Pitbull over here. I see you're back today. Let's talk big plays for today. Anything?
No big plays today, Craig. I've been playing low volume all week, and I'm going to sustain that until I get right back on the gear. I mean, Raphael pretty much said it all. This is what it is, and I am currently in a little bit of a cold rut, not winning a lot of games as of late, but this is it. This is how it is, and it turns and it streaks, and when it streaks, it flips hard. So right now, I'm going to sustain this low volume regardless to whether I cap off the rest of the week and go perfect. I'm going to stay low volume until Saturday. As Raphael said, if you guys like blood, you guys like fighting, UFC, baby. We've got a full card on deck already circled up and keyed in. So UFC will be the next time that I unleash a cork over 5 units plus. I am playing small volume right now, going to gather up a bunch of wins and then let it rip. For now, Craig, we got action across all sports, but everything is dialed down to low volume. 5 units in MLB, 4 units in NBA, 4 units in NHL, 3 units soccer play, 6 units in props, 2 plays on deck. So we've got full slate, just nothing that's crazy volume, Craig.
You know what I hear there? Like 18 to 20 units. So yes, it's not in one play, but it doesn't really matter. If you go 5-0 and 3 unit plays, that's still 15 unit gains. So
week pass, get the week pass. This is
kind of remember that, like, you know, you don't necessarily always just have to play the big plays, even though that is kind of what we're known for. I do have a little 6 unit play. I've been on a little run, 11-3, 6 unit play in the NBA. It's on the early game. So the Nick's on the late game. I'm on the early game. Go check it out. DocSports.com. You won't see my name on the BPay alert because we do have some rules about how much you can post and blah, 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 blah. But if you go get in on the NBA, you will get my 6 unit play for today. I do have 2 plays in a 5 unit and a 3 unit in Major League Baseball if you want that as well. Okay. All that is out of the way. Let's talk some free picks.
Timmy Slim.
And like, I think this is a good card in Major League Baseball today. There's a couple early games, and you know, like, boys, I think we can get some winners here. Let's start with Raphael. Raphael, what do you like as a free play?
We're in the National League, and I really like this play first 5 just because I don't trust the bullpen. So I'm going to take the Giants Padres first 5 under 4 runs. Do I think this game goes over? Yes. Second half, we're going to see a lot of runs. I think Michael King blows up the Giants lineup first 5. Yesterday went under the total. His last 3 starts for Michael King all have gone under the total. So yesterday we saw 5 runs from 4th inning and more. I think he's going to see the same. I think the first 5 innings, low scoring, when that's shocking if we see maybe 1-2 run score. Second run of the game, I think that's when the scores go up because I think the bullpens are gassed out for the last 2 games, especially the Giants bullpen, who's been throwing up a lot of arms the last 3 games. I'm going to take the first 5 under and wouldn't shock if the game goes over.
People, I think, Raphael, probably don't play the first 5 enough, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Like that is to me, you know, why play the first 5? Basically, you're handicapping the pitchers. You don't. It takes the bullpen out of the effect. I mean, you know the lineups, who's going to be starting. Most times, those guys are still going to be in through 5 innings. So, to me, I think Raphael, that's the one thing as far as action. I'm guessing you as an odds maker type. Where that's where your background comes from. Don't you think that more people should be playing first 5 inning games?
I've been telling books this for years when they start doing first 5. I think the way they put it in the menu on how you search games, they tied it with all the other stuff. They need to put it right next to the game, like game lines, and then put a tab, first 5 right there, then total run line and all that. It's hidden. So by the time I like this game, I'm going to bet it. Oh, wait a minute, I could have bet first 5, and then you've already made your bet and you lost. I think they need the way they place it on a betting menu. I think that's why it gets lost.
I always like money line plays in first 5 innings because you can get a push. You know, like a money line, you can't get a push for the game because somebody's going to win. They're going to keep playing until they get a win. The nice thing is if you like a little underdog in the first 5 innings and it's 3-3 at the end of 5, you get a push, you get your money back. So that is a nice little hidden edge that you have if you're betting in the first 5 innings. Nick, what do you like here as a free MLB play?
Yeah, let's look at the New York Yankees and the Baltimore Orioles. That total sitting at 9.5 here. And we're going to go right back to this New York Yankees team. I understand they put up 15 runs in yesterday's game. I believe they went back-to-back home runs there to start off the game. Kyle Gibson was on the mound. It was his first start, but this rotation for the Baltimore Orioles has been brutal. They're 30th right now in the MLB in ERA. Just can't seem to get off to good starts. I look for these Yankees bats to stay hot here in Camden Yards. I like these New York Yankees at this price. Carlos Carrasco will be on the mound. He's 2-1 this season, and a lot of people like to fade this guy. You look at his last 2 starts, he's been very competitive, and his runs allowed have been down. I like Carlos Carrasco to get off to a hot start. Not saying he's not going to give up runs. He will give up runs, but I think these Yankees bats will outperform the Orioles here today. So take the Yankees money line over the Baltimore Orioles tonight, Craig.
Raphael, is there a prop out there, first manager fired?
Not yet. I'm actually going to work on that after I'm done with the Derby prop bets. I'm going to work on first manager fired. I got to work on some NBA props, first to be traded, a whole bunch of the stars and all that. But I want to jump back on your Yankee prop. We talked about that in a show I did this morning. 525,000 to 1 for a team to hit a home run, 3 home runs in 1 inning. And there's only one person since 1930 to ever hit 3 home runs in 1 inning, and that was from the Boston Red Sox, Gene. I can't remember his last name. So what a crazy, crazy first inning that was yesterday.
Isn't it the second time this year they've done it too?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, that's crazy. But the Orioles manager, let's just say he's hanging on by a thread. If he could be fired by the weekend, in my opinion. Not that I don't blame managers always. I just sometimes they need a different voice. And this Orioles team, a lot of people thought they would be a playoff contender. And the way they are, it's trouble, trouble, trouble. I like that Yankees play. Griff,
Yo.
what do you like free play today?
D-backs at New York Mets. Mets minus 110 on the money line. Total sitting at 8.5. New York, they've been sensational this season with a record of 21-9. They're 8-2 in their last 10 games, currently on a 2-game winning streak. And unbelievable 13-1 at home. Arizona not playing good baseball. They're 3-7 in their last 10 games. They do have some buying power with Corbin Burns on the rubber tonight. He's been a huge name in the bigs for years, but he's brutal this season. He's got a 4.05 ERA already. That is not good Corbin Burns style by any means. New York, on the other hand, you guys hear me talk about this team all the time during night games. Last season, I want to say they went 57-37 during night games, opposed to day games. They played below 500 baseball. This season, yet again, they're doing it again. They're 12-4 during night games, opposed to, I don't know what they're doing during day games, but it's nowhere near as dominant as night games. This is a team you want to ride under the lights at home, especially when you're getting minus 110 value on the money line. You could even take them on the run line tonight for some juiced odds, but I like them here straight up, minus 110 fair value. Take the Mets on the money line, Craig.
I like the over. My free play is actually over strikeout totals for Corbin Burns tonight. He came off 8 last time out. Looked a little better. I think he's rounding into form. I think he'll get us, and that's at plus 120. I see that. I think it was FanDuel DraftKings this morning that I looked at. So get in a Corbin Burns strikeout total for a player prop as my free play for today. I have
a quick question for Griffin. Is that evening games in New York? Because in Arizona, it's a day game.
Overall. overall. Yeah. Don't get it twisted. They play better at home than they do at the road, and at night they play better at night than they do at home. Those are not correlated.
I want to make sure if it was East Coast time or Pacific Standard Time. I just wanted to make sure before I place a bet.
Check splits, ESPN, brother.
I had one game circled. I want to get your guys' opinion. Giolito goes for the Red Sox. Of course, missed last year with injury. I mean, we know this guy was what he was before injury. Like, they're playing good, the Red Sox right now, and the Blue Jays are not. I kind of wanted to give him the first 5 innings. Obviously, I don't think he'll go long. But I had to stay away. I haven't seen enough of him. Obviously, I heard enough from his his simulated games and all that he's been going. So, any opinion on that game?
Yeah, absolutely. Do not touch Lucas Giolito on his first start. He was once with the White Sox. I've watched this guy. I've seen him get traded. He was obviously dominant when he got traded, but this guy sucks, and he's a complete mental head case. If he comes in locked in, don't get me wrong, he comes in locked in, which his first start this season, absolutely not. This guy is a full-blown mental head case. If he gets on the rubber and starts walking guys and throwing balls and his pitches are not landing where he's aiming for the seams, he goes absolutely ballistic. On the field and in the dugout, loses his mind. So you to put your balls on the table and take him in the first game or his first start in a brand new uniform, absolutely not. I would never back Lucas Giolito. That guy is the epitome of a mental head case. Don't touch it. There's my breakdown with him, Craig.
Hey, and Nick, he knows about mental head cases. Some
of
these girls he's been with.
He's got a lot of similarities between him and Lucas Giolito.
I was saying the girls he usually ends up with, like the girl at the stadium swim that came and joined us for a few minutes.
Oh God!
So
get him out.
So another day, another time, and maybe we got to do that on the 6:30 show because it's kind of X-rated.
Oh man, that could go real deep. We can go rated X quick.
Only in Vegas. Stadium swim. Shout out. All right, let's talk NBA. NBA, we had a couple of series in last night. Celtics were kind of like slipwalked through the first 2.5 quarters, and then boom, whoa, what they put it on. And the Pacers, what a comeback win for there. I mean, I did not see that the Bucks would put up that kind of fight. So nice, 2 more series into, which means we're going to have round 2 here before you know it. But let's talk NBA tonight. A couple games here that we let's start it off with Raphael again. What do you like here as a free play in the NBA?
Well, the person in our comment, Timmy Slim, we got some synergy right now because he asked the question, what about the Minnesota Timberwolves team total 102.5? I bet it early this morning when I woke up at 4:30 in the morning at 101.5. And then I even bet it again at 102.5 because they have hit this number in back-to-back games. And look into this stat. They've hit this number in 30 out of their last 31 games. I can't believe it. If you think the Lakers, yes, the Lakers are probably going to play well at home. The role players will probably play well at home. I think it's going to be a fast-paced game. I think Austin Reeves going to want to have a good game because he's had some dumps lately. But they're at home. Lakers will probably push the mental upwards. I think that's going to be in Minnesota's case. I think Minnesota has the manpower to make this a little bit more faster tape game. I like this team total over 102.5. I think Minnesota closes them out because you know who's going to be on my couch watching this game? Nico, the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, is on my couch watching this game, and we can both laugh at he made a great trade. Great trade. Get rid of that guy that doesn't play defense.
Well, I know the defense matters, but there's this thing called offense too, and Luka is going to have a game tonight. That's my prediction.
Yeah, he can have a game and still lose.
I would be on all his over props tonight. Points, rebound, assists. He could go for a triple double. I think he's going to have a big game. It still might not be enough because LeBron and him still haven't figured out how to play together. And LeBron just goes and hides in the corner like half the time. When you see Steph Curry and somebody else has the ball, Steph Curry's moving and creating openings where other guys can get open. You just stand in the corner and don't move. That makes it very, very difficult. I would be on, as my free play tonight, a bunch of player props as far as Luka's concerned. I think he's going to have a good night. I just don't know if it's going to be enough. Like you said, I think, I don't know. Lakers, they're going to have to figure this out. Some people say Giannis is going to be a Laker. Unless LeBron retires, I don't know how that happens.
You look for Houston or Orlando to make phone calls for Milwaukee.
Oh, yeah, that would be. They both have tons of
Houston.
And I, here's the crazy thing. I heard Oklahoma City Thunder as well because they have 1 million draft picks. They have all these young guys. They're so deep that you could rebuild a franchise with just their, 2 or 3 guys and a couple trade. Now that also has to. They're not doing that if the Thunder win a championship, so we'll have to see how that goes. But free play, you have any free plays? You have the 2 guys in the earlier game.
Nick, you want me to take this one?
I don't have the earlier game. I'll piggyback off Raphael because we were talking about that over in the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm looking at this full game over 209, just kind of like Raphael said. It's going to be high scoring pace, and the playmakers for the Los Angeles Lakers are going to show up tonight. Luka and obviously James, but the Timberwolves are not going to shy down whatsoever after Anthony Edwards, 43 points in the last matchup. He absolutely shines against these Los Angeles Lakers, and he's playing in Hollywood. He's going to shine under the lights here tonight. Both teams in the regular season averaging about 115 points per game. I think this pace will stay true to that average over the regular season here tonight. I see a lot of points to be scored, so I would take that over 209 in this Minnesota Timberwolves and the Los Angeles Lakers tonight, Craig.
Raphael, there's a little NBA was like drooling when they saw that it potentially could have had Golden State and Lakers. Obviously now 3-1. I think they'll get every call tonight. Though the NBA is going to do their damnedest to try to get the Lakers and the Warriors for the second round there.
I agree. That's why I would wait. If you like Minnesota, I think this one moves probably to 6.5. It's the late game. People be chasing. Everyone's going to think that the Lakers are going to get all the whistles tonight. Wouldn't shock me if we 6.5. I like Minnesota, so I'm waiting to see what's the highest I can get. And I maybe even look at live betting for Minnesota. Because let's say the Lakers go off really hot in the first quarter. You can maybe get like a +10 on Minnesota and see the second half as the Timberwolves will roll.
Didn't you tell me the Lakers, I think we talked a couple of weeks ago, maybe before the playoffs, the Lakers are the biggest liability for the books?
Yes. Well, maybe not now. I haven't checked lately, but before the playoffs started, they were right now probably not, because I think the way OKC and Boston and Cleveland have looked, I can guarantee you those numbers have probably surpassed the Lakers, especially the way Cleveland had looked in the first round.
Yeah, Cleveland of those 3 because they're the higher the odds, right? So, you would think they're probably getting some money. Griffin, you said you have a play in that early game?
Yeah, Golden State at Houston. Houston laying 4. I mean, Golden State leading this 3-1 in a potential 7-game series. Houston's got their backs against the rope. They're a 4-point favorite in tonight's matchup. Low total sitting at 204.5. Golden State, they're going to want to come in and lock this series down tonight. Did we get confirmation yet? Do we know if Jimmy Buckets is playing or not? As of right now, I just checked on my phone. He's still game time decision on everything that I'm reading. Does anybody else? He's playing tonight. I seen game time decision with his pelvis. I even like it better with him playing, whether he's playing or not. We're aware of the capabilities on offense with both of these teams. Houston, they've got to score at least 100 points offensively to win this game. We know Golden State, what they do, they're more than capable, especially with Jimmy Buckets in the lineup or not. If he's in the lineup, well, then it makes it a little bit tougher on Houston to score, but Golden State's going to put up more buckets. If he's not in the lineup, well, that defense lacks a little bit, which opens up more gaps for this Houston Rockets team to score points tonight. I like the over in this game at 204.5. I think both of these teams are going to come out. Golden State's going to want to send them home and be done for the season, lock up this series. Houston's got their backs against the ropes. They're going to play with everything they've got tonight offensively. Give me the over 204.5 in this one, Craig.
Yeah, this is where I have my 6-unit play tonight, so I won't talk much, but I want to ask Raphael, is there – I mean, you see Houston here. I'm guessing money's coming in on Houston in the under.
Yes, that's why if you like the total, which I do like the total that Griffin's talking about, I'm waiting because there's some 203.5. South Point just moved it to 203.5 about 15 minutes ago, and I saw a couple offshore books moved it to 203.5. So I think we can maybe even see a 203. So I want to wait, even though I like the over, because I think Amon Thomas and the role players for Houston have big games to push this one over the total.
Yeah, I mean, like I can't imagine they're going to get to 4.5 though, right? Like so, like no. I don't think you wait if you like the Warriors, don't wait on that one. But the total, I do see that it's going to come down because it's been pretty. I mean, the Rockets' offense is just tough to watch. You know, like they have been tough to watch. But they were great in game 2, right? Griffin, not the game that went. They went off.
They put 117 up. It was like a 117-83 game, something like that. That's what I'm expecting. They need to do that tonight. I also like the Houston Rockets team total over 103.5. I think there's some value in that play as well. Houston's got to score at least 100 points to win this game. Their season's depending on it. Game's on the line. They've got to score. They know what to do. I like the point. I like the play over.
Yeah. I mean, the one guy that really only showed up in game 2 was Jalen Green. He had 38. I think they scored 109 actually in that one in the game 2. But remember, Jimmy Butler went out early in the first period. It kind of really threw that game kind of out of whack. So just for people's note, Jalen Green is the guy. He's the guy that can go for 35. He's really the only guy they have that's super explosive on offense. He's just been the other games. He's done nothing. Like he's not even taking a lot of shots. Van Fleet he had 8 3-pointers and they still lost.
Yeah.
Like if you just said that Van Fleet has 8 3-pointers, you'd think they would have won last game out.
And his last shot almost went in to win the game.
It was online. It just was short. It was online. I still don't understand why every team in the league doesn't foul up 3. I know they can't rebound. Like the Warriors worried about rebounding a miss on the free throw line because Houston's just pushing them around on the inside. But to me, I don't care. I'm not giving teams a chance to make a 3 to tie. I would always foul. All right, let's talk NHL. Nick, let's kick it off with you since you're our NHL guru. I think we said last night take all the plus 1.5s, right?
Yeah, we had the Wild there. We had that plus 1.5. We went into overtime. That's what I thought. So we cashed in with that. But let's look at this Florida Panthers and the Tampa Bay Lightning here. The Lightning, they're slight favorites on the money line, 115 here, but that total, it's sitting at 5.5. Tampa Bay season's on the line here. They lose, they will go home. They're in Tampa Bay, but they pack up and go to Cabo or whatever they do. This series, every game but game number 2 has finished with an over. That was a 2-0 win for these Florida Panthers here. I'm expecting Tampa Bay to come out very aggressive, shots on net. I like this overplay here. Both of these teams score a lot of goals here, especially in Tampa Bay. Give me that over 5.5 goals in the Florida Panthers and Tampa Bay Lightning tonight, Craig.
Yeah, super physical game. I mean, Tampa Bay, I think, is going to absolutely come out just I like them in the first period a little bit, like Tampa Bay in the first period. They've not got off to good starts. They need to get off to a good start. Keep the fans, that emotion. And, hey, you just win one game. You win one game. We've seen weird things happen. All of a sudden, they're back in this series. So I do like Tampa Bay in the first period. Griffin, you like a free play today?
Yeah, Craig, I'm looking at the St. Louis Blues rolling into Winnipeg to play the Jets. Jets minus 185 on the money line. Total sitting at 5.5. We have a low total at 5.5. That immediately tells us this game is going to be competitive and tight. Series split at 2-2. Winnipeg just got smashed up in St. Louis on back-to-back games. Now they're back home. They went 37-4 at home this season. St. Louis, they went 20-16-5 on the road. Winnipeg has to break out tonight and win this game, as they have to head back to St. Louis for game 6. They don't want to deal with them on the road in this matchup. So give me Winnipeg here on the 60-minute three-way regulation at odds of -105. I think they win this game in 60 minutes in regulation and take this one at home, as this series has been. 2-0 in Winnipeg, 2-0 in St. Louis, back home. Let's ride the trend. The trend is your friend. Give me them in regulation here, Craig.
I actually almost made this my 4-unit play. I took
So did
today
I.
off in the NHL, so I like this one. I just think Winnipeg's the whole. If they lose this, it's over. Like it's over. Like I don't think they can come back from it. They have to win this game. I think they're going to come out and make a statement. I like them, and that's great value. The three-way line for the people that don't know, you just have to win in regulation. And by doing that, you get a much better odds because, of course, if it goes to overtime, you lose. There's actually, you can bet the overtime as well. It's like a bet the tie, similar like what you can in soccer. So get in on that three-way line. That is one of the bets, I think, Raphael, that is going to become more and more popular as we move forward. I really feel like, because it gets better value for people to play favorites.
It gets better value, and I think the bettors like it. That's why I think we've seen a little bit boost. I think about 4% more bets came in the NHL this season, and I think it's because of that, because people were tired of the overtime rules and stuff like that. And why am I going to lay -280 on when I can just bet the three-way at a better price? So I think that's why popularity in the NHL was a little bit different this year.
I wish there would be a bet like this in baseball. Now there is the no bet the ninth inning if you're having if it's a home favorite. But I would love to have that in baseball, because it would bring up where you're betting a lot more. You could bring in more favorites, because for us handicappers, once you go -160-ish, maybe to 170, depending on the capper, you just can't bet it. You have to look the other way. You have to lay the run line. So it's definitely something that I think
they did it with first 3 innings and first 5 innings. I think that's why those two popular bets, especially first 5, as we broke down earlier, I think that's why you pretty much eliminate the bullpen when you're betting first 3 and first 5.
You like any NHL free play here, Raphael?
I'll piggyback on Griff's. I like the over. I mean, 12 goals that Winnipeg has given up in 2 games. So what's the mentality of the defense of Winnipeg and the goalie of Winnipeg, knowing that you didn't get pulled not once, but twice, and now you're at home. So you figure home ice, the offense will maybe want to, give the goalie some pick me up. Hey, we're going to give you a big lead right away. I'm a little bit shocked that we didn't see a 5.5 different juice, or maybe even a 6 on this game, because the over has been cashing in the series left and right. So I'm a little bit shocked that we have a -140 on a juice on the under.
Yeah, don't you think though it's because when series are tied at this point, and it's basically who wins this game probably wins the series, we're going to see a more usually defensive-minded team.
Not this year. We haven't seen a defensive
we haven't
NHL
seen a lot
this year.
-140 on the under.
I'm guessing the second and the third round, we're going to see more defense, because usually what happens is, we get some overs, then everybody starts jumping on the overs, and then all of a sudden it becomes better teams, better defenses, and I think next second and third round we're going to see more unders. But I do think these are 3 good games tonight. Montreal, Washington. Any lean in that one, Nick?
I would lean towards the Washington Capitals there in regulation. They're playing back at home. Logan Thompson has looked absolutely fantastic in the playoffs here. Just Montreal's been getting off to slow starts in this series. Montreal, if they score first, will have a chance to win. But I just think the Washington Capitals are way better than these Montreal Canadiens team, especially on the defensive side. And you obviously got Ovechkin there. I like him in a little prop to get a goal here tonight at home in for the Washington Capitals to end the Montreal Canadiens season tonight, Craig.
What's the odds on goal for him tonight?
I'll pull it up. I got it.
Could be around 2 something.
Yeah.
Plus 2 something. That's not a terrible wager. I mean, I think Washington's sitting on a big game.
Ovechkin's plus 105 anytime.
105?
I don't know. I
don't like it at that price.
No.
You get me close to
we'll put our balls on the table.
If you get me like plus 180, I think I would probably lean in, but at plus 105, I think I would. But I do think Washington in regulation, that's a nice little wager there, because you're probably getting it like what, -110, -105?
I believe it was -125.
125. So it's not terrible there. See, that's how you get the value, though, for you guys that don't play the regulation bets. Instead of laying -180 to -190, depending on what book you're looking at, you're getting at -125 to win in regulation. So there you go. There's all of the games for today. Don't forget, if you haven't done so, make sure you get on our top play alerts. Nick has a 7-unit in the NBA in the late game. I have a 6-unit in the NBA in the early game, so make sure you check it out. And I got a little 10% off promo code for people that listen in. Derby10 saves you 10% off all the way through Sunday. So use that instead of $30 per the day, you get it at $27. And that's good on any sport, including if you want to get in on Raphael. I mean, I'm not Tony George. I'm not going to go all in on the fellatio of Raphael, but I did hear Raphael's horses have, according to Tony George, have been amazing. So make sure you check that out this weekend. Before we let you go,
I do the horses 365 days a year at Doc.
Right,
so I know these names. Not like some people like, oh, I'm going to do the horses this weekend. I'll pick this saddlecloth number. So
I bet them every day, but I only give out horse plays for sale for the Kentucky Derby, the Oaks, and Breeders' Cup. Because for me, I just give it, if people like my guys sometimes will get it for free, follow me. So, but Raphael, before we let you go, Oaks and Derby, anything they should know before we let you go?
Watch the weather, because right now it's projected thunderstorms on Friday. Now, if the thunderstorms are late on Friday, that means it's going to affect the track on Saturday for the Derby. So you might want to look at horses who love to run in the mud. So keep an eye out for the weather and keep an eye out for Thursday's races. You can see how if the track is fast or if it's already being waterlogged.
And remember, if it's raining, you want to bet horses towards the front. That's deep closers do not come home usually in the slop. That's just the normal. Now, the Derby is kind of there's just not many 20-horse races in the U.S. So
we're going to see scratches if it's pouring buckets too. I can already tell you there's 2 horses that would be scratched if it's raining on Saturday.
Yeah, which means if it's early enough, we do have also eligible 21 horse that I like. And that only didn't get in because the Santa Anita Derby didn't have enough horses, so his points for finishing in the money actually were just low. He really should be.
Thanks, California.
Yeah. So to me, that horse is live if he gets in. Now, was it last year? 2 years ago, the 21 horse got in.
2 years.
2 years ago, won at a big odds. So make sure you pay attention to the weather. And we'll talk about that more come Friday with Robert as well. Don't forget, Robert will be on tomorrow, Thursday and Friday, and we'll, of course, always have Nick and Griffin in with me as well. So have a good winning day. Hope all your bets are winning ones. Good luck.